Remember folks, many of the fugitives you see may be considered by law enforcement to be extremely dangerous. Do not make any attempt to arrest, apprehend, or detain them. If you recognize any of these fugitives, call our hotline at 1-800-9-CAUGHT or text us at 408-355-0999, or you can send a confidential email at tips@fugitive.com if you have any information that can help law enforcement solve this crime.
Armed robbers terrorized two young women at the Plaza Jewelry Store in San Jose, California. Detective Brandon Sanchez is determined to bring them to justice.
On July 2nd, 2010, at about 11:15 in the morning, a armed takeover robbery occurred at 160 South Jackson at the Plaza Jewelry Store. A Hispanic male entered the store and made contact with the two female employees that were working inside and asked them in Spanish if they had any gold. At that moment, a second suspect came inside who was also a Hispanic male and walked to and then around the counter and made contact with the two female employees behind the counter. The initial suspect then pulled out a silver revolver, or what appeared to be a silver revolver, from his waistband and ordered the two female clerks to the ground behind the counter. The second suspect who walked in then broke off from where the victims were and the suspect with the gun and walked over to the display cabinets. While that suspect was rummaging around through the display cases, the first suspect that was armed with the gun then tied and bound the two female clerks behind the counter, tied them up and put them on the ground facing each other. That suspect stayed with the two female clerk victims behind the counter, while the second suspect made his way around the jewelry store. He ended up breaking a couple of display cabinets and took some of the jewelry that was on display, and then along with some bracelets and whatnot from another stand-up display case that was mounted on the wall. They ended up getting the keys from the two female employees and opened up the safe and got an undisclosed amount of cash from the drawer from the safe. They attempted to try to break the surveillance equipment that was behind the counter by just breaking the monitor, which they were unsuccessful in actually destroying the video. The two suspects then fled northbound through the parking lot and then away from the scene. They have not been located, and there has been great video surveillance from the establishment that we're going to put out. And if anybody has any leads, I would encourage them to call the Fugitive Watch hotline.